Okay, welcome guys. Okay. Right, so I gotta remember what I'm doing. Okay. So, okay. Doing that. I think we're just about good. Alright. Oops. Okay. Yeah, it's been a weird day. um, I don't know how far I should get into it. It's slightly personal, or not really, but it's alright, but I'm okay, but it's just, you know, I had some kind of a allergic reaction to this cream ointment kind of thing that I got from the doctor, so now I got Benadryl to make some of the weird overheating and rashing that I had on my forehead, so I'm actually a little bit tired. So the Benadryl made me drowsy now, so this might be how it is for the stream. So I'll try to wake up, but know that I'll be fighting against that the whole time. So, okay, welcome. Probably just get started if everyone's okay with that. I mean, who would object to not doing things? So, okay. I've been looking at this for a while. I'm trying to think about where to go with this. So I think we got most of the assets, or enough of the assets to just kind of get started with the animation. So I think I'll just get started with that. So yeah, let's see. I think the first thing is Rarity pops out of the tent. So let's kind of start going with that. I'm a little bit out of it. We haven't tell already. I'm just... Oof. I also kind of came off of working on the movie, working on some meta rendering, compiling and post-production for that, so a little bit tired with that too. So how you guys doing? I know there's some guys watching. Having a company would be nice for you guys. You guys like to chat with me? Ask any questions or anything? So I'm just gonna be rambling, even in weird drowsy mode instead. Also, we can push that thing out of the way. Also, let me know if I'm actually live. Sometimes that happens. Or I might be going for like a while and not even realize that I'm not. And I would probably expect that too. Then I'm not. Actually live right now. That'll be fun. Let's move to that. Okay. Yeah. If you guys are able to chat or willing to, please keep me company. Otherwise this will be really weird, drowsy, trying to wake up stream while I put a horse in a tent kind of a thing. There we go. Oh, hi Cookie, thank you. Yeah, I had to do a whole call with my doctor just to say if the reaction I had with that last night. It was pretty scary last night. I don't know what was going on. Shoot peep. Yeah. Coverage start. Thank you. Hopefully you won't be too overflowed by troublemakers in today's chat. So that's pretty good. This will be the true chill stream. Maybe I should get drugs like this all the time. Over the counter, safe, prescribed as by your doctor drugs. What do we call this? I'm gonna call it 10 morning. It's not even spelled morning. I'm actually not really awake right now. I was doing fine earlier, but I think just like being on as well as, you know, entertaining to a degree as well as making sure everything here looks good. It's taking a bit of a toll. I don't need all these bits, so I just gotta get rid of them. I am, yeah, I kinda explained it at the beginning that keeps forgetting the N in there. I had a weird reaction to my doctor on Monday prescribed me some medicine. Not really. It's like a topical, like, it's pretty much like fingernail polish kind of a thing to get rid of something that's on my toe that's been weird. But then I had a weird reaction to it last night where I was like overheating and like freaking out. So had some weird head hives. So to get rid of some of the pain, or just make it a little bit less irritable, I took some Benadryl just to feel hopefully better. So yeah, I'm not quite all the way here. So, excuse me on that. So, please keep me company with random things. Otherwise I'll just keep rambling as I usually do. So, want the conversation to be a little bit different or talk about something else, let me know while I trudge along with this. This is it's, yeah, I want to have like a half open eye, like she's tired too. Maybe I'll make the brow have like the same eyeliner or something. That'd be fun. Yeah, gotta move around the topics, so that'll be fun. I'll keep some sanity, hopefully. So I have a couple things that I can talk about too, but I'll leave it to you guys. Let's see. Let's make this eyeliner a little shorter. There you go. Yeah. I know I would get a little drowsy by taking this, but yeah. I forgot that I was also going to be live as well. Or that I'd be able to power through it, but maybe not. I was even planning on trying to go for like an hour and a half today, but just to get this more done. But that might not happen, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm not. Okay. There's so much to do. I feel like I'm on half speed and everything here. It's really weird. There she is. I'm gonna break this apart and then change the shape of it so like it opens like that. Yeah. Get rid of those dots. There we go. So it's gonna be like It's like the tent door is opening. Not by much. Just a bit more. There we go. So it seems like whoosh. And then we poke Rarity's head out. This movie I saw in a cinema. I would think that would be Frozen 2? I don't know if that's weird or not, but yeah, I liked it. We were planning on doing like other movies, like Christmas movies, or I wanted to see Star Wars, but just because I've never seen a Star Wars in a movie theater before, I'm fairly positive that I've never seen a Star Wars in a cinema. I know I had like 9 chances, but I'm just the one guy who there you go. Got a Rarity twin popping out. Yeah. Obviously I wasn't alive for the original trilogy, so I watched that on VHS. And then the prequel trilogy, I was too young, or I just watched it on TV when that came on. I think I was old enough for like the episode 3, but parents said they somehow knew about the youngling scene, and they were like, "Nah, we're gonna not bring you to that." I guess to save me something, I guess. So, I'm sure it's great. Yeah, I haven't really been doing movies in theaters for several years. But now we got the we're watching more now, so I'm happy with that. It is a fun experience. We're watching Detective Pikachu with people, and that was really fun. Yeah. Did I? No. I must have watched... Oh, yeah. I watched The Missing Link by Leica in theaters. I watched that in 3D, so that was really cool. But that was amazing. That's one of my favorite... Probably like my top movie of 2019 was Missing Link. Let's move these over, actually. Over to here. That almost works. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think about this too much now. Claus. Is that the Netflix movie? Or whatever you want to call it? Original something. No. All I heard is that it has good animation, so I don't know if it'll have a good story to back it up, you know. And sort of the problem. I'm not really into the animation itself either, so I'm sure it's got one of those Hollywood sappy cliche sort of a thing, where like you can summarize it too well as a story. So yeah, not really. Wasn't really on my to-do list, I guess. Rotating her. And then we soften it just by one little bit. Okay. So Story screen 2. Oh, okay, that's good then. I mean, we're all kind of adapted into like no one needs different like archetypes, I guess, for like stories. So if it like hits all these like certain like emotions in us, then it's like, then that's good. Even if it's like the same story that we heard literally thousands of years. So, and that is a bit harsh, but it's like, you know, that's sort of how it kind of goes sometimes. It's hard to make anything original. Not that I actually have no idea what it's about, so, but I'm sure it's gonna hit like some cliche or something like that. Here we go. Okay. That's what I'm telling you. I'd like the creating versus like actually doing it, or the creating the creating assets and stuff takes longer than actually animating it. At least you're experiencing like you think about it so much that you already know how to animate it. So by the time you actually do it, you get around to it that it's like, oh, it's practically already done for you, that you don't have to think about it much long time. That's been crazy in the 80s and 90s to like create animation. And that was like a weird time period, but it's like it's like at the right precipice of like being like hopefully like really good masters of like the next generation of animators for like TV specifically, or like they are like weird in between pioneers for in between traditional and digital. So it's like they might have been brought up on schools of how to use X sheets and peg bars, but then in your career, like in the 90s, you would have to transfer to digital ink and paint. I guess I was going for like the people who would transition. To that. But yeah, okay. I think that's about it for that. I like people who would like, you know, have to like use a dope X sheet, whatever you want to call it, and then look at that and go, well, let me figure out in timeouts, you know, basically like this timeline but like vertical. So instead of it going this way, the timeline would go up and down, and people would have to plan that out to the frame to figure out how to animate. But you see, like here is just like it's very more loose, and it's not as super rigid of a timing thing. Maybe it helps that there's no vocals or voiceover. It's obviously when you have voiceover, then you're a little bit stuck, you know. I mean, like you could, you know, go from like one scene to another while a line is going, and then you can just cheat with that, and then you can only have to have half the frames for it, and then like cut to something completely different, so then you don't have to care about the character that's talking, kind of thing. But yeah. Introduce two dope sheets, but I've yet to use one because they seem very archaic. They are the way that you're supposed to like textbook figure it out of like planning every little action to the frame, and like putting your keys in. I tried it once with like trying to figure out how to do that with like traditional, like sitting down, and I started to make some dope sheets, but then it's just like I kind of gave up and just kind of do it the way that I'm doing it now, where just kind of like push things one way, then see like, that's too slow, and then making it faster, kind of a thing. So stuff like that, where it's just like it's more of a feeling rather than having to sit down and write down everything. I suppose it works better to do a dope sheet when obviously you're in a more studio area where you could have multiple artists look at a dope sheet and then start from where you can make little sections of like, okay, I'll do 1 to 20, and then another person will do 21 to 40, and then go from there. So then you're able to like figure out like exactly where to go with that. Planning it out that way is important that way, but now we got like storyboards and animatics. Like the animatics kind of stop, people from really using a dope sheet in that kind of a sense. So like the animatics is pretty much what we did here, where we laid out all these pictures, and I could have animated it a little bit to have different keys, and then I could just play it back in real time with all this, and then that would have been my layout that would have existed here, and then people can cut this animatic up and then send those pictures and the videos of the animatic to different people to outsource that. So in that case, then that'd be a useful use for a dope sheet, where the animatic replaces a dope sheet in that case. Unless you need to be really weird and critical to everything, then it still works with the animatics. So animatics are too useful. You would probably never need to really use a dope sheet. Right. Too pain so I can use the audio right there instead of just playlining. Because that's what I'm saying. I think 80s and before, 80s and pre-80s, you would have to use like a cassette tape recorder with the audio, and then play it back over and over, and then match your paper to that. So you have to like plan it out to make sure that the audio works with that. So you would always be out of sync unless you're like able to do it right. You would have to like hit the cassette and then flip your papers to preview it. While with digital, it's like everything, I could have audio in here and it'll play inside right now. So we kind of like replaced all of that with how we do this. I watched some videos on YouTube, about anime directors and animators using TV Paint or a program like that to say like, oh, the new age is here, we gotta use digital to key in or go. Some people are like embracing it so much that they're just using digital now to animate, because anime has been notorious for always been traditional, literally, where anime was drawn exclusively on paper for like a long time, and now it's just becoming like, well, what if we use tablets? And now it's becoming like a big thing of like, well, why don't we, kind of a thing. So it's been interesting to like hear from them that, oh yeah, we have technology, but we're not really using it because we like the hand-drawn look, but then we have brushes that look hand-drawn and have way better like flexibility to change things later on. So it's like, why not? And because you're able to draw on the tablet, especially when I'm using a pen, so it's able to mimic exactly what I want, or know exactly where my hand is and then draw more naturally So like in about half hour I was able to animate 2 seconds worth, you know. So I was like, if that was traditional, that would be very impressive. But it's digital, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's not as much because there's not much in that scene to begin with. But it's still quite a lot of work regardless. So boop boop boop. Hello, Charles. I got the tent open with this rarity. Animate so hesitant, go digital, and consider limited nature animation. That's true. But sometimes they kind of do their secure anime trope where like they just go all out in like one scene, where they just go overboard and like do it on practically like on halves instead of ones. Maybe just doing it on ones is impressive too. So, trying to think what I want to do. Yeah, that's interesting to like hear about that. That it isn't. It's a different style, but I agree that it is somewhat limiting with anime that they aren't like free flowing of like, especially their mouth flips. Their lip flaps are very basic to a degree, where what is it? Where not every phoneme is being is being pronounced. Like it is literally just a closed, half open, a little bit bigger, and then wide, and then they just go back and forth, back and forth doing that. So, trying to make stars. Oh boy, would he be bad at kind of straight facts I'm saying here? Because it is true though, where at least I watched like one video where one animator was like, they would just, you know, just kind of do it randomly, of like how which kind of laptop you kind of choose. Like it has to like start at some point, like you choose a starting point and then an ending point, and then whatever else in the middle, you can just kind of just do whatever. Where you just kind of do it randomly, and it kind of just works. It's weird. Still watching Me Hero. I haven't really finished it. Must have got maybe, I don't remember exactly, but around season 2 or 3. Oh man, it's been many months since I've got back into that. That woke me up good. That's my phone. See who that is. I don't know who that is. Make me do it again? Oh, it's not. Okay, we're good. Yeah, that's caller ID, so it would have doxed me a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay. And then we're gonna have the tappy tree stop. And then we're gonna have to change each of these individually, I guess? I forgot how I want to do this. So I'll shake 2. Might be able to if this takes so long this time, then I might be able to just next time take these frames and then copy it. And then they should loop. So wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Kind of a thing. So there we go. And that should wiggle too. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay. And then apple trees back here. Also wiggle up to there. So let's do 3 things, but we still do 3 things anyway, so it doesn't really change. Okay. Sorry, Charles, we're in a no self-promotion rule thing that we're doing. So, I'll be happy to look at it later, but not to. Don't want to promote that you have it on here. That's why I changed the description to have way too many rules. Well, it just takes away from my own work. A lot of people ditch me to look at someone else's. Wiggle, wiggle. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, so what do we got? We got that. Rarity 10. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, good. That's actually working. Haha. Great. Yeah, it's okay. Just don't do it again. Actually, that was the wrong place to do it, but that's fine. Now I know how to do it. Would have to be here to here, but then we just get rid of Sweetie Belle, Rarity. Do that, and then like this for a while. There we go. Boop. Start getting ready, and then here and then here. Sorry, I figured this out. Okay. Activity from scratch. I think when I first saw them, I think on first impressions, back in like 20 whatever too long ago, I think I was a vinyl scratch. But I think I've slowly liked the Octavia now, so I like Octavia now more. I think back then I was like really liked like the colors of vinyl scratch. I think I had like a puppet or like some kind of flash puppet to like work with that I was able to use, or I downloaded. There we go. And that was really cool. I liked using that one. But yeah, I think I like Octavia more. Whoop. I also really liked in the Brony Polka how Viva animated her. That was my favorite part. Was the swing tabby swing part of the Viva's animation for the Brony Polka. And smears were amazing. Okay. The sun can also move a bit, but I might do that later. Alright, I can do it now. And go. It's over here now, kind of a thing. Go whoop. It might have to be adjusted, so I might not just leave it alone. But that's kind of what we're doing. So, okay. How are we doing? We got enough time to work on maybe the next part, which will be them getting ready to go. Rarity's a little bit apprehensive, and then Sweetie Belle has a backpack and she's ready to go. And it's midday. Apparently not. This is midday. Let's bring it back. This morning. Actually, it should be, because we want to do it in the morning, right? So maybe it'll be like an in-between color. So I could do from here to here, make a shape tween, and then say about what color works best. Those are gross colors. That's not really a sky color. Should stay more blue. I'll have to figure that out too. Oh boy, okay. Boop boop. Boom. I think I like Sweetie Belle. Or maybe Scootaloo. I think I had a flip-flop. I don't know. I never really liked it. Dabble. I'm sorry. I feel like she was like always the too primary one, or like just had too many stories of like her having the same mistake or some kind of learning the same lesson like over and over. Like the other ones didn't really as much, or like they seem to be Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle seem to be more like they already adapted it, but Apple Bloom is like fish out of water kind of, that she's too easy to just like reset her. Yeah, that's kind of yeah. Yeah, it's not super random. What do I think of Starlight? I think as a villain, I think she works really well. I think as like a pseudo villain, works even better. But just have her like as a friend, like kind of like flip flop in the like last little minute, where she's like, we're having a song, and now you're a friend. It's like I'm not. It's hard to buy it when it's like you've been in this town for how many years, and then a horse shows up and says friendship's magic, and then we sing, and it's like, yeah, I am a friend now. I'm gonna forget about this whole like huge past and like really cool backstory I had with all this, and say, yeah, you know what, you're right, Twilight. I felt like it could have been developed in some sort of a fashion, like at least make it more gradual in a way. I think even with like the other bullies or the other kind of characters were like Diamond Tiara, like if she switched in like the first Apple Bloom story, that would have been something. But they kept her as a villain or like a bully for like a long time, and then like once they kind of realized like maybe this has been going on for like long enough that's like maybe we should have some kind of intervention and say that she could be redeemed in that way. But otherwise, I think Starlight works really well. It's those kind of like Twilight characters that are a little bit, you know, like they're a little bit too Twilight-y, where it just becomes like, oh, Twilight has ascended too much that now we need to fill this void with sunset and then Starlight. Let's see. Monokuma. Not actually sure what that is. Call it the same things. She's a nice sense counselor. Oh yeah, her like Trixie, like buddy episodes are really good. And that's where she shines the best. Because it is basically just going back to basics with, you know, how Twilight was. So, I mean, that's kind of how we all kind of got like accustomed to the show, was that we all kind of fell into the shoes of Twilight. So, if we have another Twilight, then it's like, oh, this is great, kind of a thing. Womp. Yeah, it worked really well. Womp. Womp. And then smile. Yeah. It's like a yin yang hope and despair. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that. Get And I suppose, okay. So now she sees the backpack. Okay. Let's draw something. This has to be pretty big and be able to see, so it has to be around here. This is the backpack. There we go. Perfect. Okay. What would it look like? Maybe it's like strapped around her. So it has a strap. This is big. And then can I curve out? Maybe like this rounded rectangle, and then it has this pouch. Maybe like a big saddle, but like it's got maybe a zipper and a button. And then yeah, and some depth to it. It's like a sideways backpack with needs like a hole, maybe a little pocket on both sides. That could work. Okay. Boop boop boop. Yeah. Let's see. Designing stuff like this is, I think I've just been doing this for so long that I just kind of like know like some kind of sense of like how to draw different costumes for horses, so pretty much just know how to like figure out like how would you wear a backpack in a way kind of a thing. So but you're quad pedal and have to put it on. You kind of have to start thinking about that, but it just kind of just becomes like, oh, I'm just gonna draw what it is, but like 90 degrees different. It's sort of how it just almost becomes a lot of the time. Like I remember making like ballroom dresses for like one episode that I made, one of my cartoons, and it's just like, oh, it's just drawing a ballroom gown dress, but just on its side. Like you imagine like a like you have a nice dress be for a human, and it would go out like this, and it's like, oh, that's where the human goes. But if it needs to be a pony, you rotate it and then move the head up here, and then get rid of this, and then there you go. That's kind of how that works. So just kind of just make everything on its side, and it kind of works. It's weird. So if you're able to draw it sideways, and that should be good already. Skill for you. Boop boop boop. Make a stick film P for animation. Probably not forever. I wanna. He might switch it up. Feel like Bonnie's dying out. I mean, there's people who, you know, will always like be like true fans who will always be around. They'll go to like every convention possible and you know, celebrate whatever fandom they want, like however way that like they like it. And that being a creative is like you become like very centered in a way where like a lot of the spotlight is put on you more so, you know. So So whatever I do becomes more content for someone else to enjoy. So I don't really get the same kind of sense being like an outsider to that kind of phenomenon. So I never really had that feeling of like, well, what should I do now? It's just like, well, I can keep going, I guess. Like, why do I have to stop? You know, it's like, I'm making this stuff. So I see your point as like, yeah, the normies are like the people who will just, who aren't being the creative side, I suppose is the easiest way to say it. They'll probably die out quicker. But the people who always like do like requests and like say like, hey, can you draw Rainbow Dash again? It's like, okay, like I'm here for you. Like I'll supply it, kind of a thing. So in that sense, it's like, yeah, it's as soon as, you know, someone like doesn't want to request for a pony, then I think that's more sign that community is gone and dying in that way. So for right now, it's like, yeah, people are still requesting pony stuff and making pony stuff. So and technically it's still kind of going with the comics, but and then they'll keep rebooting it forever. So ponies itself will take a long time to die out, but it's just like the interest of it will be another thing. So, and people will get interested in the new show and the new toys and everything. So the cycle will continue as long as there's always like 5-6-year-old girls. Then ponies will stay almost relevant forever. That's what the marketing will say. So. Alright. The franchise of active fan bases. Yeah. You can think of like, you know, like that one season sci-fi western show that got like a huge following. I forgot exactly what it's called. But think of something like that where people are always making like new content and like keeping that alive. But because obviously, you know, content creators aren't making anything, so they're not going to be involved with it directly, but if the fans still like it, then it stays alive in some way. This is censored when we kind of I agree. I mean, you never know, like we were in that weird dark time in like Gen 3.5 and 2. And it's like, told someone back then that, oh yes, in a few years, this show will be very, very popular and enjoyed by many people. It's like, right, yeah. You know, so, weirder things have happened. Don't always like, it seems to me like it's some like weird like consciousness with that sort of a way where if you believe yourself that other people will think about it in this way, then a lot of people will think that way too. So if you start to believe that, you'll be having a nice positive attitude towards it, then you'll be in a minority in some cases, but you'll feel better about it. Don't think it's Westworld. I think it had it was sci-fi and western, and it had like 12 episodes, and it was like in the mid 2000s. But it was like really popular, like everyone liked it, but something happened, network or something, wasn't able to see that, so they canceled it in that case. So that was like the network being short, where they weren't able to see it, or something happened. I'm not sure about that either. see what it looked like so far. I had like a not normal name, like it was just like a short 2-syllable something. I'm sure I'll know what it is once I hear, but for now it's just like, yeah, stuff like that where it's just like, really? You think that's gonna be, you know, popular, and then it becomes huge, but in its own way where it's not being fed by the creatives who worked on it, you know. Like the creators already finished working on it in that case, unintentionally, but other people will carry the torch to keep it alive. So that looks weird. Sure, I could play with the colors, but it's a symbol, so I can change it later. So don't worry about that for now. That's what I mean. Like, it takes forever to like draw things, but to animate it, it's like, oh, I just need to like move this back and forth a little bit, and that's it. Like, it doesn't animate anything, but it's got something. Ooh, I wanted to wear a hat. Which one should wear a hat, and what kind of hat would you want? Some kind of like park hat, like a baseball hat? Is that too normal? What would you wear to like go on a nature hike? Kind of a hat. These sunglasses. Like, I want it to be like sort of. Sweetie will wear a baseball cowboy hat. Okay. So maybe Sweetie will wear a baseball hat, and then Rarity could have a cowboy hat. Alright. Let's go that here. Let's get that going. Okay. So yeah. So I've already kind of like worked up, like scheduled and like figured out like what I'm gonna be doing for practically the whole year. Just because I know that the project with the movie, it's probably gonna take that long to get that going. So that's why I'm not really too afraid that, oh no, my content is going away. It's just like, oh, I'm making my own, you know. So I just don't really have that outside feeling of, hey, wait a minute. If they're not gonna make it, who is? You know, oh, this official content is gone. What am I gonna do now? It's like I'm already on it. I think its perspective is throwing me off a little bit. If I had to draw this, not that bit. Fair enough. Where is this scarf around her head? Oh, interesting. I can try that. As I figure out like what kind of this goes up over. We're like seeing the underside of it. It's not here. Not sure how it connects back. Kind of a thing. Fill this in. Might need to be on separate layers or something, or I'll have to keep. It's kind of like sculpting it to see where these lines kind of land, and then figuring it out. So yeah, I've already kind of like planned out the whole like year. I've already kind of like figured out like how long each part of the movie is gonna be, at least in time. A rough estimate for like the 8 parts that I want to make. My flash files are like in 15 parts, but I think I'll have the YouTube chapters be like 8 parts. So So I already kind of figured out like how long each segment of each dose is going to be. So I have like some kind of clue to like make sure that everything's kind of somewhat even with the with the timeline of everything. So minus isn't connected. Ah, there you go. So I'm gonna be plugging away on that for like months. So that's gonna be the main content that I'm thinking of doing for quite a few months. Hopefully the other projects like the Fallout Celestia and others, like the commissions that I have right now, those should probably be all covered by the time that I finish the movie. That'll be weird. I think it has no depth to it, that's a little bit. So maybe it needs at least some kind of showing. Add some kind of room to it. Maybe like this. Did we figure out the that TV show I was talking about? This feels like a baseball hat, like an actual baseball helmet rather than a baseball cap. Maybe it's because you wouldn't see a lot of this. Like some parts go underneath, I think. Like that. So I'll have two parts where those will be here and then below. And then this is one, and then this is two, and then on the first part I'll get rid of this bit, I think. And then maybe it's all of this. That works. But now it needs not much of this. Yeah, okay. So now it should feel like it's going in between, like there's a hole now. Yeah, okay, there we go. That only took a bit. Put more on her. Now she's like wearing a weird hat. Alright. No idea. Oh man. Wish it would come to me. I'll probably look it up during toaster time or something, which is about now. But we got her. I'll put it like a. I'll just try to like sketch of what we want. And then next time we can do it right, or fill it in with color better. So cowboy hat. Yeehaw. It's basically Applejack's hat, right? And then it goes up, and then it goes down, and then it's like that. That sort of works. So then there's the hole. That's here. That's the hat, and then underneath we want, on top of the neck, we want the scarf, I guess. What kind of scarf? What exactly do we want? Around her head. Ah! Scarf around her head. Oh, I could do the scarf that goes up, maybe? Like around her neck? Or I could just do like the winter one. That might be easier to draw. Unfortunately, we'll have to probably do this one where it's like this winter scarf. He's all dressed up. But yeah, we'll probably figure out like what to do if how to figure that out better next time. So, we did about 2 seconds of animation, and then the whole rest of the time was just the making assets. That's how that's. Fortunately, that's kind of how that kind of works. Where, especially working alone, it's just like you gotta create everything. So I've said it a lot of times that the more than half the time when making a cartoon is not animating. A lot of the time you're just making things and creating new assets. But yeah, I think we'll end it here. So we got that. That's good. And then that. So next time there's a lot more to do. It'll come day. Bloom will come out, and then I'll have to make a new asset for her to have beehive or bee stings all over her, as well as making a stick with marshmallows and fire, and then smoke, and then lights in the tent, and so a lot of this is just making all of that. But as you saw, like the little animation that we did is kind of quick. So, but yeah, that's about as much as we can do today. Before I probably a little bit more awake now than I started, but I think I should probably end it now. So, thanks for watching, guys. Okay, let's look it up. Western sci-fi short-lived. CW picks up a Firefly-esque space cowboy. Firefly, that's it. Okay, I never watched it, but I just like it has that trope of like, oh, it's super great. Community was able to make it special and have more outrun its own like runtime. You know, so cool, we got that. So Firefly, rest of it, anything else to talk about? Yeah, worked on the movie today. Just did some boring, let's cut it up kind of thing, put it into post-production with the first part, just to test everything out before I actually render it and actually make it a real upload. I still need to do music, sound effects, and then some more post-production, but for the most part the animation itself should be pretty tight, just because it's been working on that 1 minute of the movie for like roughly a year, I don't know, but in real time, but only looking for like a couple months. But anyway, that movie should be coming, I guess, next month with the first prologue part. So once I get everything settled there. I learned today that you can't have end cards, like the little special like interactive buttons at the end of the video. You can't have those when your video aspect ratio is not 16:9. My whole thing that I wanted to do was have it be in CinemaScope-esque super widescreen. So that's not 16:9. I guess that makes sense. Like if your video was like, 1920 by 1 pixel tall, then you can't really add buttons into it, but that's a shame. So so I worked on the credits sequence, I guess. At least to redo my end card that you usually see at my end of my cartoons. I redid that to fit better within my aspect ratio, as well as just making that a little bit nicer. So, but yeah, that should be coming maybe in a week, or I don't know how long. But soon. So hopefully it shouldn't be too much of a wait between parts, but between me working on other things it's probably going to take just as long, maybe like, hopefully not like 2 months between each part, but each part kind of gets more complex and much more reliant. It relies more on 3D in the later parts. So again, that's making the assets, so it's going to take a long time. My goal for this year is to finish the movie by the end of this year. So fingers crossed for that. So but to accomplish that, again, I have to prioritize, which means the only way that the movie is actually going to get at least rolling and try to get moving and hopefully to finish will be to not have regular monthly short 2-minute cartoons every month. So so it's this weird trade-off where it makes sense to like kind of like go with the trend if everything's kind of going slow with MLP. That is just like I'm having to work really hard to get these big kind of sequences going, hopefully regularly. That's the goal, is to make sure that the hopefully less than 3 months at max between parts. But if anything does come up in later months, which hopefully my future self isn't laughing at me right now, that I'll get it done. So yeah. The other small tidbit of news is that Wacom, Horses at Home, hosted by Crown Prince, this year's convention, online only convention, where artists, a whole bunch of different community people do live streams. That is right now canceled. So that whole convention is all has to won't be hosted by Crown Prince this time, at least. But it was dated for like leap year day, February 29th. So hopefully by then maybe someone will stand up and organize it, so then we can do something on that day, to keep it going. I haven't heard of an official reason for why it's canceled, but I think probably what we've been talking about this whole stream too, that the momentum for the fandom has dwindled. So, to put it lightly, but yeah, I did it last year. I hosted a panel. I say that, but it's just like doing a live stream like this for 2 hours, where I talked about puppets for the whole time. So yeah, it's already late. These videos are all VODed or VODable, video on demand later. So if you wanted to watch the whole thing for whatever reason, they'll be on my channel, so I can watch it later on. Yep. I'm just gonna record myself loud on this. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Maybe when I finish the movie, I can like go back to like all my old progress streams and say like wherever I am or where I will be. I can laugh at what I thought I would do by the end of the year. So if I finished like the first prologue, then I would have finished around 1.5 minutes of animation, or at least movie. So that's about 1/10 of it done in that case, once that's going. Excuse me, once that's up. Then only about 9 times doing that, and then I'll be done. I could have called it like short movie, but then it'll be like Paper Derpy's first short movie, and it's like, yeah, that's too long. But Paper Derpy's first movie, that's got enough syllables in there. The trailer from like 2017 should still be up if you're unfamiliar with the project at all. I'm sure a Paper Derpy movie teaser trailer should bring it up. It's probably my most ambitious in terms of like different animation styles for my channel specifically. Yeah, like as I wrote the script, it's like, yeah, this should be easy. I'm just gonna have like a, they're all gonna go into this place, and it's just gonna have like, just have to build this whole entire set. It's like, yeah, that'll be nothing. And now it's like, oh, wait a minute, I have to like, should I do this in 3D? That might be easier, but then I have to actually model the entire set that I'm thinking of, down to like every detail. So, yeah, probably once I get more confident with like all the different aspects of how I want to do it, like especially with the parts that I'm not familiar with as much, like 3D, music. I think I'm pretty good on everything else. Or at least able to competently charge ahead with it, not really having to look up like manuals to figure out what to do next, or when I get stuck. So, yeah. So today I just played with just getting the scene of outputs, and YouTube side will work. So that was a good test to see today, as well as just putting things into a different editing software that I'm not used to either. So getting familiar with that. So once I kind of build up these different, it's like Lego. It's like, but imagine doing a Lego project, but you have to like create and assemble each Lego piece, and then you can put it together. So that's why it's taken a long time, just because it's like I have to like perfectly make each individual Lego piece, and then I can put them together in a nice sequence and make a whatever structure or whatever I need to make of it. So I love Russian name. Should I get that a lot? Yeah. Fortunately, I'm about out of time, and I think people are walking around now, so that's gonna get distracting. I think that's about it. I think I hit everything. I'm sure the Benadryl is hopefully wearing off a little bit, so I might have to take another dose. So, but yeah, next week we'll maybe draw the cowboy hat or figure out what to do with Rarity's outfit, as well as animate. Hopefully animate something as well there. So, yeah, you see what I mean? A lot of noise there. I think it's about it. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week to see more of this project that we've been working on. Oh yeah, it'll be a new month too. So, happy Groundhog's Day next week, next Sunday? This Sunday? Probably have something fun for that. Probably just be really small though. Anyway, yep. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good time. Couldn't think of day or night, so yeah. See you all in February. Bye bye.